Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, today we're going to start looking at data compression methods. And the first one we'll be learning about is run length encoding. I just hope this doesn't run too long. Okay, so run length encoding. What is it? In run length encoding, a series of characters is replaced by a character and its count. Let's say Jace is trying to send his buddy this sequence of characters right here. Instead of sending this A 5 times, we're going to take a shortcut. First, we're going to write the character, in this case A. Then comes the count, 5, and that's more or less the basic idea behind run length encoding. Now Jace wants to send his friend a longer sequence of characters. He writes A5 for the A's, then B4 for the B's, and C3 for the C's. The single A just stays as it is, since writing A1 would actually make it longer. And you can see that we're only concerned about how many times the same character appears in a row, not the number of the times the character appears in the entire sequence. The advantages of run length encoding are speed and simplicity. On the other hand, other methods are usually more efficient. And so this kind of encoding is often additionally used before other methods are applied. Now, if you've got to write all this down for some reason, you can put a space after each character and its count, since a whole string of letters and numbers can get pretty confusing pretty fast. So if you write A5 and then like a 2 and a 3, you can see how easy it is to get things mixed up. Now, you don't really know if you've got A 23 times or a 52 3 times. So trust us, you're going to want to put some nice spaces in there if you're writing it out yourself. Now really, this doesn't actually matter as far as the computer's concerned, since each character is sent individually along with its count. Another thing you're going to want to pay attention to is when run length encoding kicks in. This method is worth using as soon as you've got 3 or more of the same character in a row. Otherwise, there'd be no benefit to use run length encoding. It'd actually be a drawback since more characters would need to be stored. In some other definitions, run length encoding starts when you have 2 of the same character. It's also important to know that run length encoding is a lossless compression method. So nothing gets lost in transmission, and it's possible to completely restore the original message. And this method works best when you have characters that repeat over and over. So it'd work really well for this sequence, but not so well for this one. So for now, what you need to know is that run length encoding replaces a series of repeating characters with a character and its count. Also, that it's a lossless compression method. Now of course, all this works with binary numbers as well. With binary, only one number needs to be stored, the count. See, since it's nothing but ones and zeros, it's always switching back and forth between them. You just have to let the computer know which of the two numbers to start with, 0 or 1. Okay, so what does run length encoding look like in this case? That's right. For the zeros and ones, you just need to store the count for each of them in alternating order. So 3, then 4, and then 1. Now if we let the computer know that we're starting with 0, it'll know that the sequence has 3 zeros, 4 ones, and then another 0 at the end. Of course, the whole scheme can also be used for images too. Let's look at the first row of pixels in an image. In this case, we're alternating between red, blue, and yellow pixels. For run length encoding, then we're going to send the color and the count. So red 3 times, blue 3 times, and yellow 3 times. This way we don't have to send the image pixel by pixel, but just the color and its count. This is the method used for faxes, if any of you still know what a fax is, or for images in bitmap format. Okay, so let's finish this off by looking at another sequence of characters. And now we're going to go ahead and encode it using run length encoding. Let's look at the first character and see how many times it repeats. B shows up 4 times in a row, so we write B4. Then there are 3 C's, so C3. Next we have a single 3, which we're not going to encode, because it would be longer to write the 3 and a count of 1. Then we write 4-3, then a single F, and it ends with 5 8s. So you can cut the number of characters down from 17 to 10, but the content's still the same. That means you're saving some 40% of the space available. So what do you need to remember today? Run length encoding is a lossless compression method. In run length encoding, a series of characters is replaced by a character and its count. The advantages of this method are speed and simplicity. Still, it's usually less efficient than other methods. Want to learn about other methods? Then keep going and check out the next video.